Hey everyone, welcome to the lecture on assignment number 23. We're going to be going over Venn diagrams today. So Venn diagrams are really just kind of a set representation of data, especially when you have overlapping data. And so all the things that you learned about sets in assignment 22 come into play here. Intersections, unions, complements. So let's do our first example. So we have a survey where 20% of the respondents have a cat, 50% of respondents have a dog, and then 40% of people have neither a cat nor a dog. And we'd like to know what percent of people surveyed own both a cat and a dog. So a way that we can do that is we can draw a Venn diagram. So a Venn diagram is going to be enclosed in a rectangle, although it's not always the case that we do that, but especially when you have, we'll see in this example. And then you have your two sets. So we have the set of all people that have cats, the set of all people that have dogs, and then the space on the outside, this rectangle here that's not also in a circle, this is people with neither cats nor dogs. And so for us, we know that this is 40%. And then we also know that one of these circles has to be cats. So I guess this circle here can be cats. And then we also have dogs as well. So notice that 20% of people that have a cat. So this 20%, if I were to write it here, that's not really indicative of what's going on because we can see that there's an overlap here. That overlap contributes both to the people that have cats and to the people that have dogs. So what is left for us to do is determine, okay, if 20% of people have cats and 50% of people have dogs, so here's the dog people over here. Excuse me. So this is dogs. And what was it? 50% of these people have dogs. Notice that if we were to add these up, 20 plus 50 plus 40, that would be over 100%, which we know can't happen. So we have to figure out what is the common overlap. So we need to take something out of the middle so that this will add up to 100. So right now we're at 70, we're at 110. So we're 10% over. So if we did this, if we had 10% here in the middle, then the people who own only dogs is 40, right? But notice that the total number of people that own dogs, which is the entirety of the pink circle, is the 10% of overlap plus the 40% that's just kind of by itself. So that's 50% dog ownership. So now we're good. We can do the same thing with the cats because we just said 10 is going to go in the middle. That was kind of like how much our overage was. So this should be 10%. So look at this now for cats. We have 10% owning only a cat, 10% owning both a cat and a dog, so 20% cat ownership. So now if I add up my totals, I have 10 plus 10 plus 40, which is 60, so now I have 100. So again, the way that we did that is we labeled everything and we saw that there was a 10% overage, as it were. So that means that that 10% goes in the middle and we adjust accordingly for the outside circles. So now that we have our Venn diagram set up, what we can do is we can answer the question, what percent of people surveyed own both a dog and own both a cat and a dog. And so the answer is 10%. So 10% own both cat and dog. So that's how you can approach that question. You can think of it kind of like a puzzle. You know, you put all the pieces together that you have, and then you kind of make adjustments so that it all fits in. Okay, this next one's kind of a doozy. So in a survey of 384 vehicle owners, 216 said they own a truck. We've got more saying they own a motorcycle, and then we've got people that own sedans. But this is Texas, so people have more than one vehicle. So now we have 9 people that said they have all 3. And then we've got different response values for people who own 2. So what I need to do is I need to set up 3 circles that are going to represent my Venn diagram. So I'm going to have trucks, sedans. Let me make this a little bit bigger, sorry. Trucks, sedans, and motorcycles. And so it's always good to label which is what. So we'll have trucks, sedans, and motorcycles. So now that we know what we're dealing with, normally we would kind of put it in a rectangle, but actually we know that everybody responded. So everyone said they owned at least one of these things. So there's no outside set where like no one has any vehicle whatsoever. So now what I want to do is I kind of want to start filling in what I know. So we know that 216 said they own a truck. If I were to write 216 right here, that's not correct, because in this region, it says only truck, right? But we know that you could own a truck by itself. You could own, that would be this area here. You could own a truck and a sedan only. That would be this area right here. You could own a truck, a sedan, and a motorcycle. That's this area here. Or you could own only a truck and a motorcycle, and that would be this area here. But all 4 of those regions come together and add up to the 216. So you kind of have to figure out what each one of those is going to be. So when it comes to Venn diagrams, start from the inside out if you can. So we know how many said they own a truck, motorcycle, sedan. And we've got these 2 this is the ticket right here. 9 people said they own all 3 vehicle types. There's only one region that goes into the total of all 3, and that is right here. So this is kind of the sweet spot, because I don't have to say, oh, well, some of it has to go in this region and some of it has to go in this region, and together that has to add up to 9. No, this is just 9. So start here. Then from here we can go, okay, 41 people said they own a truck and a motorcycle. So truck and motorcycle. So let's see if we can highlight this. Truck and motorcycle, that's this entire kind of I-shaped region right here. And 41 has to be this total. But we already have 9 accounted for. So that would mean that 32 has to be here, right? Because we know it's 41 total. We already have 9 in the highlighted area, so 32 is what's remaining. So that's where I get that 41. And we can do the same with the other figures. So we're gonna have 20 people said they own a motorcycle and a sedan. So motorcycle and sedan, so that's this I-shaped piece over here. And we know that this total is 20. Again, 9 are already accounted for because they have all 3. So this has to be 11, right? What's going to make this add up to 20? It has to be 11. And then lastly, we have another section here. 34 people said they own a truck and a sedan. So that's going to be this other I-shaped piece here. And we're going to do kind of the same song and dance. We know that this is 34. So therefore, this has to be 25. So now we're building. And now we can actually go back to the truck, sedan, and motorcycles. So we have, what do we have? We have, what do we really want to know? How many people own only a sedan? So I'm just going to focus on the sedan. So this information appears kind of superfluous. I don't care about how many own just a truck, nor do I care about how many own just a motorcycle. I do care about how many people own just a sedan though. So this whole section here this needs to be 163. Well, guess what? We already have 25, 9, and 11 accounted for. So I just take 163. That's going to be my total for the circle. I'm going to subtract 25 because we already accounted for that. Subtract 11 because we already accounted for that. And subtract 9 because we already accounted for that. And that leaves me with 118. So notice if I were to add up 25, 9, 11, and 118, that would give me 163. And the thing that I'm very much interested in, how many people own only a sedan? Only a sedan is just this area in here. This is only a sedan right here. Just the 118 people. Because of the other sedan owners, they also have other vehicles. Some of them also have a truck. Some of them also have a motorcycle. Some of them also have a truck and a motorcycle. So when you're being asked for only a sedan, you have to look at the part in the Venn diagram that's not overlapping with anything else. So our answer is number of people with only a sedan is 118.